Hi, welcome to Bouldersaurus. Thank you for those who voted in my previous videos on which boulders they would like to see me climb. I'll feature boulder number 7 and boulder number 14, as those two tied for the most votes. I will also show 2 new boulders at the gym along with 2 other climbers. So, to begin, here's the orange V4 with the jump start. Jump starts have less to do with strength and agility, and more to do with commitment, timing, and where you're looking. First, notice where my eyes are. I have my sights on the hold where my foot will be planted, and then quickly look up to the destination hold after. Seeking out your foot until it's planted ensures you won't accidentally faceplant into the wall. Notice that when I hit the start holds, I do so with an engaged back and engaged arms. This can help regulate how much swing you have. Of course, if you have the height and the leg strength, you can often skip the coordination part of the jump start. Onto the rest of the boulder. This climb forces you into a very wide position and then challenges you to unwind from that span. I opt to use a back flag, which pushes my center of gravity to the right to counterbalance the momentum I would get from the left. Without it, you would swing quickly to the right, so the back flag serves as a way to anticipate and mitigate that swing. The top of the boulder is the easiest part, and while the body movements are big, the holds are very good to compensate. Let's watch the entire climb. I choose to feature this next boulder for 3 reasons. First, it demonstrates a wonderful use of a move called a drop knee. Second, it shows that, yes, I do indeed climb on overhangs from time to time. And third, I absolutely loved climbing it and didn't mind doing so a dozen times to get it filmed. The climb starts with a bunch of moves on pinches to wear out the climber before entering a much more challenging top section on small crimps to test your endurance. My friend Jesse commented that he likes seeing the entire boulder, so I start each boulder in this video with a view of the entire climb. If you have any suggestions for my videos, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. As mentioned before, these holds are called pinches because they require thumb engagement to hold. Sometimes you can get away without pinching these holds. Before the start of this climb, a pinch is absolutely mandatory. I swing my body from side to side to both generate momentum and dampen it, as I want to avoid cutting feet on this first section. This horizontal pinch serves as the transition to the more technical section of the boulder. Careful footwork is required to move your feet to the right, and here is where the drop knee comes into play. It is an over-rotation of my left leg so that my knee drops to the ground. The purpose of this is to give me a position to push my feet outwards to create stability moving to this small hold. The move is possible without it, but it leaves your feet in a poor position for the following move. Drop knees are a great way to get stability in an overhanging climb. The top of this climb is a test of how efficient your climbing at the bottom was. Save energy and it's no problem, but a tired climber will struggle with each move at the top. Let's watch this climb in its entirety. Here's the other viewer-voted boulder, a V2 that introduces the idea of foot swapping. As a math teacher, when I design my lessons, I must introduce skills to my students in a simple context first, before letting them try to apply it to a more challenging problem. Climbing is similar. In a gym, the easy climbs should help introduce techniques to climbers that get progressively more challenging in the harder climbs. This V2 does a particularly good job at this. The skill taught here is foot swapping. Since this climb is on the easier end of the scale, the footholds are big to encourage switching feet on them. Too small, and a climber might try to look for a different option. As you can see here, to move to the left, my dad switches his feet on each hold. He could step through, but foot swapping here requires a bit less strength, thus almost forcing the climber to use this technique. The top of the climb also introduces another skill, stemming. The top pinch is harder to hold than the other holds on this climb, so the climber must use their feet to get into a stable position to make the finish match easier, thus performing a stem in the corner. Let's watch the whole climb. For my viewers who don't climb or have never been to a climbing gym, let me take a moment to describe an aspect of climbing culture that, to me, makes the sport extremely alluring. Many times, boulder problems become a shared goal for whichever climbers are in the area. It is not uncommon to be working on the same problem as a stranger or a group of strangers in the gym. You cheer each other on, share insights into the climbing strategy, and usually become climbing friends by the end of it. This camaraderie feels very different than in other physical activities I've done. Because of this, I get to meet cool people like Jacob, who will be featured on this climb. Jacob navigates through the tricky start of this climb that relies heavily on finding the correct body position. Notice here that Jacob is using foot swapping like we saw in the previous boulder, except it is more complicated here due to the tricky angle of the wall. From here, he uses a back flag like we saw in the first boulder to move his weight to the right to match this long hold. The next section of this climb has good holds and serves as a rest point for the challenging finish. This long dish hold has a tiny jib screwed onto it, which makes the move to the penultimate hold just a little bit insecure. Finally, a slightly unstable match on this finish hold completes the climb. Let's watch this climb in its entirety. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you'd like to do more viewer-selected boulders, and if you'd like to see other climbers in the future. Have a good one.
Smile and wave.
Perfect. Drop knees are a great way. Here is the second viewer-voted boulder. Here is the second Here's the second Where's the first I don't know.